And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on what part of the globe you're on or what time zone you're in. I'm your host, Brian G. That's not me. I have a few redeeming qualities, I think. Maybe. A few. I hope. Yes. Here we go. Happy Sunday. Rolling at you, coming at you live and in living color from everywhere across the globe. Everywhere. All at once. Whatever. And here we go. Poof. Yes. I am the Holy Ghost. Well, he's not here, so I'll have to do. Oh, man. I tell you, have you ever heard the adage, when someone screams the loudest about a certain something, they usually are telling on themselves just a little bit, you know? So, for instance, you got people that just yammer on, and they won't shut up about homosexuality. Like, oh, it's so disgusting, it's so bad, blah, 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 blah. And they just will not shut the fuck up. Usually they're telling on themselves. Usually they are confessing that they have an issue. Either they're closeted gay themselves, or they have, I don't know. They lean a certain way. Maybe. Today we're doing Elijah Craig small batch bourbon with a little bit of walnut cocktail syrup. See if I can get this thing open. I think this thing is sealed shut. Yikes. Yeah, when this stuff hardens, it's like, Yeah, I think I'm going to be taking this straight. I hope I don't crack it. Damn. Wussy hands. Yeah, it's stuck tight. Well, what are you going to do? It was good the first time, I'll tell you what. Stuff's pretty good. Oh, there it goes. Don't fight me. What's the matter with you? Tell you what, just a little pinch of walnut oil. Come on now, face the camera. Elijah Craig walnut old-fashioned cocktail syrup. I don't know what it is, but man, this stuff, it will smooth out any Any bourbon you have that has a little bit of afterburn. Hey, good to see you, Spooky. Live from Australia. It's a good thing that Australia has led the charge and banned Nazi flags and Nazi salutes. I wish we would do that here in this country. Wow. I'll tell you, just add bourbon. Yeah, no kidding. Fill a rocks glass with ice. Add 2 ounces Elijah Craig's small batch bourbon. Add a ½ ounce black walnut old fashioned cocktail. Stir until well chilled. Garnish with an orange peel and cherry. Makes 8 cocktails. Huh. Well, I don't know if I got I don't know if I did it right. Let's see. How much did I put in there? Oh no, I did. That was ½ ounce. I'll be damned. But how much bourbon did I use? Oh, I'm not adding enough syrup. Really? That's a lot of syrup. Wow, I've been skipping on the walnut oil, it turns out. Okay, I'll just add a little more. Oof. It smooths. There's like there's little to no afterburn once you've put cocktail syrup. But drinking it straight, it's like not bad. Oh, damn. I forgot did I grab the sweeteners? No, I left them. Of course I left them. But I do know this. If you dip cigars, the smoking end or the mouth end of a cigar in a glass of bourbon, just a little dip, it really smooths out the taste. I forgot my sweetener packets. Oh, well, I guess I'll just have to drink coffee straight. Yeah, what are you going to do? Can't have everything. Well, there's a lot to go over. I tell you what, Moms for Liberty, they have been dumping themselves in the dip. I tell you what. These moms, I'm telling you, they are freaky. Moms for Liberty. I mean, just do a word search for Moms for Liberty. One of them got busted being in a one founding member got busted for threesomes. Another one got busted for shoplifting, and another one what did the third one? There's another one. Shit, I don't know, but oh my god. These moms, wow. I don't know if they deserve the title of mom. Because they're not really, first of all, Moms for Liberty is an oxymoron at this point. Moms for Liberty do not care. Yeah, one person says, Moms for Liberty welcoming DeSantis back to Florida with open threesomes. Oh, God. Have you seen Ron DeSantis? Man, that guy, I'm telling you, this guy, he looks like his skin suit is literally malfunctioning. I mean, he is have you seen him try to smile? Oh, God. That guy is just out of his mind. He's as freaky as this guy right here. This jam a finger up your nose, you nasty fuck. This guy, Mr. Anti-witches, anybody who disagrees with him. So, I don't know if you've heard this, but Greg Locke, his little tent, his circus tent is literally got destroyed by snow. literally destroyed by snow. Tennessee just doesn't normally get that kind of snow, and he had enough snow that literally buckled the middle of the tent. It literally buckled and caved in, and it just completely bent the framework. So he's looking at needing I think he said $150,000 in damages. Couldn't have happened, excuse me, couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Let's see. The way I see it, the future of Moms for Liberty organization could go one of three ways. Good God. Moms for bigotry. That makes more sense. Mm. Yeah, let's listen to what this jackass has to say. You want to hear moms for bigotry? You know what? Hey, isn't God trying to tell Greg Locke something? Is it maybe Greg Locke's God is telling Greg Locke that he's the asshole, and maybe he should I don't know. I mean, let's see here. Cancel. Let's go Moms for Liberty. How do we look? Oh, yes. Let's listen to this bigot.
Gio, don't you think that's a lot of... You could have come inside and listened.
Trust me, there will be some people inside who will be quote unquote listening.
Well, I'm glad that you have people coming inside, and when they come back out and they tell you how we talked about the fact that the majority of kids in New York are not learning to read.
So let me tell you something, Moms.
Are you concerned about the fact that a lot of kids in New York aren't learning how to read?
Absolutely, and the best way for them to read is to read. And for example, Drag Story Hour is a fabulous way to learn.
Let me ask you a question. Sure. How much money do you think you spend every year on a public school student's education in New York?
Probably about $30,000.
$40,000.
Okay, so I wasn't too far off.
And Gio, don't you think that's a lot of money?
No, I think that there's
to not have kids learning how to read.
So, this is what I'll tell you, is that Moms for Liberty is part of a long-standing tradition of white women's groups trying to protect the sanctity of white children's lives. It goes back to the Klan, it goes back to Reconstruction, of trying to segregate schools, of trying to ban books, and we know who you are and we follow you. And we're out here to say
we're going to live stream the event tonight. We're going to live stream the event tonight. I hope that you watch it.
She did her best. I don't know if I would have been that eloquent. This Moms for Bigotry, she showed up on the Joyanne Reed, the Readout program, and I think Joy could have done a lot better, but she still had her ass handed to her. Yeah, $40,000, and some of them can't learn to read. And how are you helping this situation, ma'am? Banning books that you personally object to? Notice how she's changing the subject from banning books to, oh, the kids are illiterate. How many homeschoolers do you think have come out of their home schools illiterate or can barely read? Quite a few, actually. Good. Yeah, defund teachers union. Exactly. They want to attack. Oh, a high schooler senior demands that Bridget Ziegler, who has threesomes, her husband was just arrested and charged with rape. So let's listen.
Privacy is taken away.
Let's listen to what she has to say. This was January 16th, 2024.
one has a moral responsibility to disobey unjust laws. And one of these unjust laws, these amoral laws that you insist upon upholding, involves outing a student. And that's one of the things I want to touch upon today. When a student is outed, here's what happens. They feel shame, rejection, fear, their autonomy and their right to privacy is taken away. They're thrown to the wolves, so to speak, with no regard to, their mental health. And with everything that's gone down with all the scandals that have been brought up in the board meeting today, Ms. Ziegler, I do think you've experienced some of the same. The media circus, the harping on a relationship that at the end of the day was private. On behalf of the Sarasota County Schools queer student community, we do not care that you had a three-way. We do not care what you safely and consensually do behind closed doors. It does not affect your ability to legislate. What does affect that is the laws that you pass and the policies that you enact that are severely and actively hurting us. You are unfit to be on this board because your platform that you've taken immense pride in has demonized queerness as something dangerous. When Mr. Edwards, one of your fellow members, received death threats because he was gay, you were silent because he was dangerous. When queer teachers who can't display photos of their spouses were dangerous, the public had the right to know. Now that you've been on the other end, I ask you, what's more dangerous? Your blatant disregard for and disrespect for the students that you claim to represent, or the students themselves who are just trying to survive in the hostile climate created entirely by this board? The hypocrisy, the callousness, and frankly, the ignorance are chilling. The system is broken and we must fix it. Resign.
All right. Good. Yeah. Yeah, here's a good cartoon. Yeah, good thing he's not a drag. Yeah, a school shooter walking through the school, blood all over the floor. And the kid says, yeah, good thing he's not a drag queen, right? Exactly. Upper East Side, again. A growing crowd of protesters has gathered outside Bohemian National Hall in protest against an event hosted by SPLC, designated extremist group Moms for Liberty. It's only 34 seconds. Well, I don't need a lot of. Moms for Liberty quotes Adolf Hitler. Yes, on their website, they had a quote from Adolf Hitler. I don't have the quote right off the top of my head, but yeah, they're not hiding it anymore. They are literally quoting from Hitler on their website. I think they have taken it down. This is the clip from the Joyanne Reid show. Okay. Let's see if I can play it without.
Saw what some of the content was in the books. I mean, explicit, graphic, sexual content. And I'm happy to talk about some of that content if you'd like to.
Well, this is the question again. The books that are being banned, I want to give you just some.
Books are being banned.
No, hold on a second.
Well, no, Joy, but I want to be clear. No one's banning books.
Yes, they are.
Print the book, publish the book, put the book in the.
You are banning it from school libraries. Quit playing semantics. We know your game.
Public library, sell the book, right? We're talking about a public school library. Children don't have unfettered access to the internet at school. I did a FOIA records request, and I wanted to see what kinds of internet sites are banned in schools, if we're going to talk about banning, right? And the subject matter in the books that moms are concerned about are the same things that kids don't have access to on the internet. So it just feels very hypocritical, right? No, why is no one out there protesting for, free the internet?
Yeah, it's hypocritical when you promote Adolf Hitler, when you quote Adolf Hitler, and you're going to ban genderqueer. You reference the Bible, which is full of blatant murders, rapes, genocide, starvation, cannibalism, and you're okay with that. No one is going to ban the Bible, are they?
The internet in schools.
Let me give you.
Saw what some of the
that's a bad clip. It didn't go far enough. But yeah, she basically asked, have you read any of these books? No, they didn't. What they did was they got a Cliff Note version. Tiffany for Justice. That was who, I think that was who we were just listening to. Tiffany. Yeah. The moment you Oh, Moms for Liberty, but without Patriot Front is like Moms for Liberty, but without balls. Okay. A new militant group arises from the ashes of the Proud Boys, the shy pussy. The Proud Boys were in New York just the other day. That's the clip we just listened to. Yeah, ban this. Moms for Liberty gone. Yeah, Moms for Liberty gone wild. Ban that book, then ban me. Oh God. Oh, this is a much longer clip, I think.
But you're still trying to make decisions for all the kids. Here are some of the parents that are filing, or some of the your advocates. Bridget Ziegler, the Moms for Liberty co-founder, the wife of the recently ousted Florida Republican Party chairman, Christian Ziegler, who allegedly was involved in threesomes, same-sex threesomes. Mrs. Ziegler was removed from the school board at which she was a leader. You've had
She wasn't
Lauren,
removed
one
from the
moment.
school board.
Okay, you have Lauren DePaula.
Why wasn't she removed? That's a shame, isn't it?
She was making book ban requests in Alachua County, but then records show that she and her husband didn't live there. They'd sold their home in that county. Carrie Blair in Tennessee, who was arrested for property theft charges after allegedly stealing from Target, skip scanning in Target. Why should those three people get to make decisions about what other children should be able to read? Other parents' children should be able to read.
Do you know that I served as a school board member?
No one asked whether you served on a school board. We don't care. The question was, focus like a laser beam. Why should you have the say over what other kids get to learn about and read in schools?
Parents' children should be able to read.
Do you know that I served as a school board member from 2016 to 2020?
Are you going to answer my question?
Yeah, I'm
because
going
we don't
to.
have an endless time.
Joy, I'm going to answer your question, but I need you to understand that when I was an elected representative, I would sit on that dais. And how dare I, sitting there as an elected representative, judge a parent when they would come to the podium to speak and advocate for their child?
But you do. You judge them all the time. We've listened to countless speeches from you and others like you. You people are pathetic, and you do judge. Very much so.
Because as we started this conversation, we'll end it. Every parent has a fundamental
And
right
so
to
a
direct the
parent-
upbringing of
so
their
let's
children.
make
And I
sure
would
that
not
we can
stand
end on
in
a-
judgment,
let us end on a
Joy,
point of agreement.
about a parent's
If a
education
parent- one
level,
moment, one
their
moment,
sexual
one moment.
orientation,
If a
their
parent-
race, their
if a
religion.
parent-
That is
Ma-
not what
Ms.
America is
Justice,
about.
I'm going to answer.
Mrs.
I'm going to
Justice.
ask my question,
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
Justice, Mrs. Justice. That's
Thank
fine.
you.
If a parent believes that their child should be able to read Ruby Bridges,
We
Child-
believe that
Okay.
that children should be able to read.
then
Ruby
how
Bridges. She's
can
the
Moms
American
for
hero.
Liberty insist that the school board take that book away and then say that a parent who wants the child to be able to read it must purchase it? That's essentially putting a tax on parents who want their children to read the book. Your kids get to have books for free that you agree with, but children who want to read the
Correct.
book, or
And
parents who want their children to read
she's
the book-
not answering the question. That's two questions she has not answered so far. The clip is pretty much over. She's not answering the
who
question.
don't like have to purchase it. That doesn't sound
Joy,
fair.
did you know that in this
No, see what I mean? It's always misdirection with these people. Always. They turn it around and this is their playbook. Unbelievable. These moms are freaky. Whatever they complain about the most, isn't it amazing? Maybe this is another clip.
Filing or some of the your advocates. Bridget Ziegler.
Okay, we've already listened to that. But yeah, oh yeah, this is the I think he is an alderman or the president of the bureau. I can't remember. Anyway, he made a few good speeches and just totally lambasted the Manhattan Borough president something or other. Anyway. The gay unicorn. Somebody made a meme about somebody was had a snowblower dressed as an inflatable unicorn. It's pretty good. Anyway. Oh, this is 4 minutes. I don't know if we had the time. There's so many clips. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, there have been so many books that have been banned under Moms for Liberty. Carrie Blair has been arrested for shoplifting. Yep, that's her, the white power symbol. Great, good job. Oh, look. COVID vax injury. Oh, these fakers. Oh my goodness. COVID vaccine destroyed this innocent woman's life. Oh my God. She's clearly forcing her legs to shake. Oh my God. That is so sad. We got to listen to these idiots. There's just so much. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. There's another clip from Joanne Reed. Yeah, but yeah, people are turning up. They're now becoming aware of Moms for Liberty, and they're like, we don't want them in our town. Moms demand action. Yeah, this is a group that has been trying to get assault weapons just off the streets and out of the hands of idiots who shouldn't have any firearms whatsoever. Yeah, look at these fucking fascists. Luckily, nobody in New York gave them the time of day. They just ignored them, didn't even bother. Assholes came in on the train and then left on the train. How the fuck do we let them on the train? Ugh. They were marching in Lower Manhattan in New York near World Trade Center Memorial. Ah, here he is. Let's see. Mark D. Levin. Who is Mark D. Levin? Come on now. Manhattan Borough President. I'm not sure what a borough president is, but let's listen.
And we got Exhibit A right here of what we're up against. The MAGA movement is not just... The MAGA movement has come to Manhattan. And we're not going to take it. We are facing a movement across the country that is hostile to our children, hostile to LGBTQ rights, hostile to the teaching of history, to the reading of books, to the profession of teaching, to librarians. This movement has met its match in Manhattan. We believe in children. We believe in teachers. We believe in librarians. We love books. We treasure our precious LGBTQ young people. And we know that Moms for Liberty are a bunch of hypocrites. You don't believe in liberty if you want to ban books. You don't believe in liberty if you're afraid of teaching history. You don't believe in liberty if you won't let kids be who they are. If you attack trans kids, if you attack the parents of trans kids, that's not liberty, that's fascism. That's what we're up against in this fight. Now, maybe there's somebody in Florida buying that, but not in this borough, not in this city. Manhattan is the home of Stonewall. The fight for LGBTQ rights is in our blood. We love teachers in Manhattan. If you love teachers, make some noise.
Well, I wish we'd pay them like we love them, right? I don't know. accused of being part of a menage a trois, rebuffed multiple calls that she quit at an hours-long Sarasota school board meeting. Yeah. Her husband is a rapist. These people are the worst of the worst. Wow. That was a good showing. I think that was Friday? 18th. Or was that Thursday? Thursday or Friday? Anyway, it was a good day. It was a good day. Today is a good day. Yeah, we need to have a moment of silence for Ron DeSantis. He couldn't bring his campaign to full term and had to abort. So he's out of the running. DeSantis.
Thank you so much. After all the hype, the millions of dollars raised, and hundreds of stops in Iowa and beyond,
greetings from Florida.
Governor Ron DeSantis ended his 2024 presidential
Yay!
ambitions on social media Sunday afternoon, recognizing there wasn't a path forward after a distant and disappointing second in Iowa.
If there was anything I could do to produce a favorable outcome, more campaign stops, more interviews, I would do it.
No, there is nothing you can do to bring yourself back from the brink. There's just nothing. You, sir, I'm not even convinced that you're even human. There's something fundamentally broken about you. You should have stayed in the military testing urine. That was his job in the military. Don't knock the job. Someone's got to do it. You got to stick with what you're good at. This is not what you're good at.
But I can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources if we don't have a clear path to victory. Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign.
The dropout was
he's aborting his campaign.
Full circle moment for the governor, who launched online in May with a massive war chest of money and sky-high expectations.
And we want to welcome you to this historic Twitter Spaces event.
But he was hit with problems right out of the gate as a too glitchy broadcast made for an awkward moment.
We've got so many people here that I think we are kind of melting the servers.
Supporters waiting more than 20 minutes for DeSantis to get the words out.
Well, I am running for president of the United States to lead our great American comeback.
And after that, his campaign was plagued by internal battles, too much staffing, and pundits say a message that didn't resonate with voters.
The challenge here for the DeSantis campaign was always that with Donald Trump in the race, voters don't necessarily want.
We don't care. We do not care. He is done. He's done. Bye-bye. Yeah, he is literally the piss boy. Oh, piss boy. But he's the piss boy from History of the World. Mel Brooks, History of the World. It's good to be the king. But yeah, this is what he did. And he oversaw the torture of Iraqi and Afghani people that were being held for charges of under suspicion of being a terrorist or engaged in terrorist activity. I don't know if a single one of them was actually officially. Most of them, I think, ended up getting let go because there just wasn't any evidence. After they were tortured. Good old American foreign policy for you. Anyway, I don't want to end on that note. I want to get the taste of DeSantis out of my mouth. Let's listen to John Fugelsang. If you're not, I'm subscribed to his podcast. If you're not listening to it, you are missing out. These are his remarks on the 11th hour.
I would love to leave behind right-wing fundamentalists and Christian nationalists who use Jesus, whose birth we celebrate, as a prop while legislating and fighting against his actual teachings. There's a lot of right-wing brothers and sisters in this country who identify as Christian, and they care about the manger and the crucifix, and they ignore the 30 years of teaching.
33.
Well, actually 3 years of teaching he did in between. Jesus is not an ally of the Republican Party. There is no overlap between Jesus and the policies of Donald Trump. In South Carolina, they tried to have a bill this year calling for the death penalty for abortion. We're so pro-life, we'll kill you. That's where we're at right now.
That's Stephen Wright. I would kill for a Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah.
Seeing the Pope this week enrage these right-wing Christians so much because he acted like Jesus in blessing gay unions. Jesus is not anti-immigrant. He commands people to welcome the stranger. He never mentions abortion. The Bible never condemns abortion. We've had 2 generations of Christians in this country who have been groomed to believe criminalizing abortion is something to do with what Jesus talked about. Christ was a peaceful, radical, nonviolent revolutionary, never mentioned gay people. He commanded you to pay your taxes, to welcome the stranger. Individuals and nations must care for the poor and sick in Matthew 25. He who lives by the sword must die by the sword, Luke 22. There's a reason why these right-wingers never try to put the Sermon on the Mount on walls in classrooms.
Thank God
because
somebody
of this.
read the Bible.
Wow,
I'm the child of an
before
ex-nun.
Jesus' birthday, you're delivering.
Listen, I'm the child of an ex-nun and an ex-Franciscan.
Oh, wow.
And if you want to criminalize abortion and put people in jail because you're so Christian, when Jesus never mentioned abortion, but you support the death penalty, which Christ actually opposed, the rest of us...
A lot of men wrote the books,
well, but if you support those things, then the rest of us aren't obliged to take your claims of Christian piety seriously anymore. And the media is to blame because the media loves a bad guy and has made the Falwells and the Robertsons pass for what Christianity is for a generation. It's time to take the Bible back from the hypocrites and thugs.
Or if
Well, I agree and disagree with John Fugelsang at the same time. I mean, he is right on quite a few instances. Yes, Jesus never did talk about abortion. He never talked about being gay. So, yeah, there's a lot of things Jesus never said. I guess Jesus was a bit of a cunt in other areas, but let's put that all aside. He's right about that. He's right about Jesus not being anti-gay or anti-immigrant. I think Jesus was an immigrant at one time. He lived in Egypt for a spell, and then from Bethlehem to Egypt and then to Galilee, I think. Or Nazareth. That's why he's known as Jesus of Nazareth. Anyway. Whatever. There's a whole lot. There's a whole mess with that. But yeah, he is correct. At least on that, in that aspect. Okay, let's get biblical. Okay, we're going to get biblical. Oh, enough of this nonsense. Let's see. How pious do we want to be? Okay, that's how pious. All right. Who is the Messiah? Well, he's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. All right, let's go ahead and do Rabbi Tovia Singer. Here we go.
If you enjoyed this program, please like and subscribe. Please read Zechariah 12:9 for yourself. If you read that one chapter on your own, you'll never get into trouble. If you read that one passage, you'll never even look at a church. It's vital to read this passage. If you don't read it, you have no chance of avoiding the church.
Somebody asked me, they said, we've heard the topic of Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David. And of course, the typical missionary claim is that this is actually 2 different comings of Jesus, right? So they went back and they learned about what it actually is. And they said, we understand that it's 2 different people. However, the concept of Mashiach ben Yosef is that there can be more than one person involved. So if this Mashiach can have multiple personalities that are involved in the topic of this Mashiach, then can there be multiple personalities or multiple comings in Mashiach ben David as well? Because of that same word, Mashiach.
It's something you've talked about a lot. and it's really important. And that is the word Mashiach, as you very well know, appears nearly 40 times in Tanakh, and it's never referring to the Mashiach, but rather Mashiach means someone, or it could be people who are anointed for a certain task. The word Mashiach appears in the book of Leviticus more frequently than any other because Kohanim, people like myself, are anointed to perform the task on behalf of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's only one source for Mashiach ben Yosef in all of Tanakh, so be very careful. So just a warning to the viewer. Tanakh does not use the word Mashiach when referring to Mashiach. I know that sounds odd, it sounds weird. And when we say Mashiach in the 21st century, we mean only one thing. So that chasm is very dangerous, and the enemies of the faith of Israel will weaponize this. So I hope everyone will understand this. In our vernacular, when we say Mashiach, we mean the Messiah and one person. In Tanakh, it doesn't mean that at all. It could be a non-Jew, it could be many people, it could be a lot of things. Mashiach just means anointed for the purpose of a leadership position. And as we all know, there are even non-Jews who are called Mashiach. This chasm is very dangerous if you don't know Tanakh. If you know Tanakh, of course, you'll get all of these things. Now, there's only one source for this concept, and I need to explain it. Before the coming of what we call the Mashiach ben David, incidentally, again, the Messiah is mentioned in Tanakh many times. He's just never called the Messiah. So everyone has to be really careful about this. Okay, so the idea that there's a Mashiach ben Yosef is only expressly described in one place in Tanakh, and that's Zechariah chapter 12. The context, I beg you, my holy brothers and sisters, if you read Zechariah 12, but skip the first 9 verses, go home. You're wasting your time. You're never going to understand it anymore than the Havdil, a secular book that you skip the first 12 passages or first 12 chapters. People get in all kinds of trouble here. So Zechariah 12, the context, the nations of the world go to war with the Jewish people, okay? This is a precursor to the coming of the Mashiach, meaning the Jewish people are in their land and the Messiah has not yet come. He's about to come. The immediate events that are the precursor for Mashiach is the Jews must return back to the land of Israel, and Jerusalem must be in their hands. I know it'll sound crazy to you, the viewer, but even the land of Israel is only called Jerusalem in messianic chapters. You need to get this in your head very clearly.
Boom. So basically, in order for Jerusalem to be in Jewish hands, that means all the Palestinians have to go bye-bye. That is the message. This, I'm telling you, this form of Judaism that he practices is so close to evangelical, it is almost scary. This is what fundamentalist Judaism leads to. It's going to eventually lead to genocide. Oh, like what we see now with Palestinians. They want, people like him want all of the Palestinians gone, so that it can be a Jewish state to bring about Mashiach or the Messiah. That is why they want the area cleansed.
So Zechariah 12 tells us that nations will come to go to war against Yerushalayim, against the children of Israel. That means Mashiach hasn't come yet, and the Jews are already in Israel and have an army. And the Almighty will strengthen this army to such an extent, see verse 8 and 9, that even the weakest of them will be like David, they'll even be like angels, whereas they'll destroy their enemies. Going back earlier in Zechariah 12, Jerusalem will be a heavy, burdensome stone to all those who come upon it. Now, here's the key. From Zechariah 12, verse 10, 11, and 12, what comes into view is in the midst of this remarkable battle victory, where all the enemies are destroyed. And please, I beg you, please read Zechariah 12:9 for yourself. If you read that one chapter on your own, you'll never get into trouble. If you read that one passage, you'll never even look at a church. It's talking about Yerushalayim is saved from all the enemies that go against it. It's vital. It's vital to read this passage. If you don't read it, you have no chance of avoiding the church, no chance of avoiding a cult, no chance of resisting idolatry, no chance. I'm just saying, read it in context. Okay.
How much of a chance will they have to avoid the cult of Judaism?
What happens in the midst of that battle that the Bible says the children of Israel will be victorious in? However, something is going to happen. That is, there's going to be a death. It doesn't matter if it's one person or many people, but the key is that death is going to cause a tremendous consternation among the Jewish people. So I want to be very careful. I want you, Kindle, to look at Zechariah 12, verse 9. I want you to be clear. Do not be impressed with me. Don't be impressed with don't be impressed with anybody of us. Zechariah chapter 12, verse 9. Listen carefully. V'hoya b'yoyim ahu, and it'll be on that day. Avakesh lahashmin es kol hagoyim haboyim al Yerushalayim. You got that? It'll be in that day. It says v'hoya, it's a good thing. V'hoya b'yoyim ahu avakesh lahashmin es kol hagoyim haboyim al Yerushalayim. That I, God is speaking here, will destroy all the nations that go to war with Jerusalem. You understand? This is not my opinion. It's not me. You got it. But Kinderlach, in the midst of this tremendous trauma, Nebuch, something happens, and that is people get killed in that battle. And we're going to be told that the weeping in that battle will be like what happened in the valley of Megiddo, which we know what happened to Josiah. What happens? People get killed. There's no question in my mind that what happened on October 7th was Mashiach ben Yosef moment. Understand that here Yerushalayim has returned back to the land, the people of Israel, but there's a tremendous, tremendous wound that hit Klal Yisrael that unified a nation that was divided. We are not the same people today that we were on October 6th. Whoever you were and whoever I was on October 6th, that person doesn't exist anymore. We're all traumatized because the nation of Israel is one body, and if even one limb is injured, the whole body is injured. What happens? It causes the nation to turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we sit together and we mourn. How do you know? It says so. Look at verse 12. And the land will mourn. Everyone will mourn. And it's very interesting. It says there that the men and women will mourn separately. You know how crazy this is? You know how nuts this is? Chazal, our sages of blessed memory, learned out from here that you need a mechitza, separation between men and women, even in a time of avelus, even in a time of mourning. It's very interesting because during the time of mourning, it's least likely that the people should mingle with each other. Who's thinking about that? So certainly during ordinary prayers. And it's very interesting that on the streets of Tel Aviv, in the streets of the land of Israel, people were fighting over a separation between men and women. And the Gemara, the Talmud of Megillah says in chapter 31a.
Yeah, because of nut jobs that preach what you're preaching and think what you think. Of course, those people that are of your cult are going to be arguing over the separation of men and women during mourning. How stupid. What a stupid thing to be concerned about. In times of trauma, we need to be mourning separately. Get the women out of here. I'm telling you, when fundamentalist Judaism takes control, this is what you get. This is why you do not want your country run by fundamentalist cult crazies from either evangelical or Judaism. No, fundamentalist Islam. I don't care. You don't want your country run by these people. They will run the country into the ground like the Bibi Netanyahu administrator. I'd like to see one video denouncing Bibi Netanyahu. One. Where Bibi Netanyahu has been shown and proven to support the enemies of Israel, supporting Hamas. Bibi Netanyahu has given billions, not millions, billions of dollars to Hamas to ensure that they are the ruling faction in Gaza. Why would that be? Also, as well, Bibi Netanyahu knew that the administration knew of an impending attack a year prior to it happening, and they did nothing. These people cannot be allowed to keep and maintain power. These people are nut jobs. They did this. This was a deliberate act, and all the victims of October 7th. Oh, I think I got the date wrong. It's either September or October 7th. All those people should be screaming at the Bibi Netanyahu administration. Why did you do nothing and you allowed our family to be killed?
In fact, Mechemes Gog uMagog, this great war which Mashiach ben Yosef emerges from, will begin on Sukkot. And that's why on the Haftarah on Shabbos of Sukkot, the Festival of Tabernacles, we read Ezekiel 38 and 39, which is a parallel of Zechariah chapter 12. So the Mashiach ben Yosef is...
Is it just you? Is it just me? I'm getting sick.
But that's not the point. The point is the mourning. Mourning causes a people to be transformed completely. I know, and you know people.
Oh, okay. So it's a good thing then. When going by his logic, it's a good thing. that this happened because it brings the people together. Do you see how sick these people are? They would rather something like this happen. Not to them personally, of course not. But they would rather a tragedy like this happen to bring everybody closer together. Do you see how sick and twisted that is?
Didn't go to shul very often, but Nebuch, when their father died, when their mother died, suddenly they're showing up in synagogue, not just to say Kaddish. It has a transformative effect, and that's what Mashiach ben Yosef is. This is discussed in the Talmud in Tractate Sukkot on page 52. But you don't need the Talmud for it. So that's Mashiach ben Yosef. It has nothing to do with the Messiah, the son of David. Nothing, except with one caveat is these are eschatological events.
I can't go on.
They have different roles. The Messiah, the son of David, he comes and he reigns forevermore. See Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 24 and 25. And actually, the whole end of the book of Ezekiel is about the Messiah. So I encourage people to look at this chapter. There's very famous what happened in the Second Chronicles, what happened to Josiah. He was the last of the great Davidic kings. Josiah, son of Joseph, is not an individual. It can be. There are some who hold that opinion. But it's not germane. If you get caught up as a one person, so the karu implies that there's more than one that's getting killed. It doesn't matter. The key to this is the mourning. One other caveat, with your permission.
Yeah, because that's all that matters, right? The mourning. The mourning. That's important. I just want to be done with this. Skip ahead.
Page 52. But you don't need the Talmud for it. So that's Mashiach ben Yosef. It has nothing to do with the Messiah, the son of David. Nothing, except with one caveat is that these are eschatological events. They have different roles. Messiah, the son of David, he comes and he reigns forevermore. See Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 24 and 25. And actually, the whole end of the book of Ezekiel is about the Messiah. So I encourage people to look at this chapter. There's very famous what happened in this. It's in Second Chronicles, what happened to Josiah. He was the last of the great Davidic kings. Josiah, son of Joseph, is not an individual. It can be. There are some who hold that opinion. But it's not germane. If you get caught up as a one person, so the karu implies that there's more than one that's getting killed. It doesn't matter. The key to this is the mourning. One other caveat, with your permission. The church completely, forgive me, molest this passage. Molest it.
Well, that is true.
In the book of John, chapter 19, 34 through 37, John, the fourth gospel, completely misappropriates this when the Roman soldiers pierced the side of Jesus, a story, a pericope that's only found in the fourth gospel, and blood and water come out, so he that saweth knew it was true, and that post-mortem inspection, that's not a crucifixion, and it's Roman soldiers who did it, that's the fulfillment of Zechariah chapter 12, verse 10. I'm not kidding, and the pronoun has changed. Whereas in Zechariah 12, verse 10, it says, as I described to you, that the people will look to me because of the ones who were killed, or the one who was killed in battle. It's John 19:37 changes it, and look it up, open two browsers to, they shall look upon him whom they pierced. And you have to ask the question, if you're in the church, why did John change the word of God? Why is he playing with this? And why are evangelical Christians using Zechariah 12? Why are they misappropriating the Messiah, the son of Joseph, when their own beloved, cherished gospel, the book of John, conveys that this has nothing to do with Jews, it has to do with Roman soldiers, it has nothing to do with something that will happen in the future. There's something that has happened 2,000 years ago. How does John change the pronoun? Hey, beat to a lie, they'll look to me. So this is mind-boggling. Always go to the original. Thank you for that question. If you enjoyed this program...
Well, I mean, the original wasn't any better. I mean, I've read these verses ad nauseum. Disgusting. And more Palestinians will have to die because of this decrepit, disgusting view of the supposed end times. I'm telling you, synagogues all across the world, in Israel, in America, doesn't matter. They're using October 7th as some kind of fulfillment of prophecy. They're no better than evangelicals. Oh, look, prophecy is being fulfilled. It's the end times. It's coming true. No, it's not. It really isn't. And when this is all over, you will look like the fascist, decrepit, disgusting people that you claim to abhor. It's just gross. It is just gross. I'm done. I'm not. I was going to do Bible reading and reading of this book. As soon as this ridiculous book is over. In fact, I might just end it early because I think I'm done with this book. I want to cleanse my mind. I might get into Seth Andrews' Sacred Cows. Yeah, I really want to get into this book. I think it's time. And also we've got the God Makers. I don't know if I want to get into this one. This is the shocking expose of what the Mormon Church really believes. I don't know if I give a damn. I don't know. I just don't care. Oh. I don't know if I want to focus on the Mormon religion anymore. I think I'm burned out. Anyway. And with that being said, have a good evening, everybody. Good morning, good evening, or afternoon, depending on what part of the globe you're on, what time zone you were in. Have a good night. Signing off. Thank you so much for tuning in and not tuning out. Appreciate you. You're still here? What do you... It's over. It's over. Go home. There's no more. There's nothing else. Go. Shoo. Go home. There's no more.